Hello, welcome back to my kitchen garden. It's a really hot day. This is a little bit shady over here. I'm going to cut back some of this rose because we've got some growth that I don't want. I want to keep it close to the fence but bushy at the same time, so I've got to be selective in what I'm going to cut back, but hopefully by the time I finish this job it'll look a lot neater. I think I'm happy with that. That looks a lot tidier. It's certainly bushier that side. I had more flowers on it that side than this. But hopefully that will pick up. If not, I'll have to train up some more leaders. So I know I keep raving about them, and I have in the last few videos, but look at these sweet peas. They are just wonderful, and the smell, I'm sitting in my summer house and I can smell them from here. They are absolutely stunning. So they all need cutting. The more I cut them, the more that come. So, and I think I might have got on top of the powdery mildew. It doesn't seem to have got any worse. So fingers crossed I'll have them for a few more weeks. I made a discovery a couple of days ago. I've actually got a collared dove nesting in my runner beans. She's right on the top of the frame, and I'm sort of reluctant to pick any beans now because I just don't want to disturb her. If you know me by now, you know how much I encourage the wildlife into the garden. All's welcome, including Mr. Ratty. So I feel quite privileged that she feels safe and secure enough to have made her nest, so the least I can do is to not disturb her, but really. So I haven't even put my parasol up today because I thought it might spook her, but if I'm very, very careful and don't move too fast, hopefully I can show you her sitting on her nest. So you just see her tail feathers there. If I move around, I'm going to be very quiet. There she is. So I'm just doing a little bit of research, and apparently the collared doves rarely leave the nest unattended. It is the male that sits on the nest during the day and the female at night. So the little beauty I've just shown you is actually daddy, not mummy. And they incubate the eggs for 14 to 16 days, and the fledglings leave the nest after about 21 days. So I've got them for a little while by the looks of it. I just hope they're going to be really successful. The other thing I read was that they usually only have 2 eggs in each clutch. So I hope to see them around the garden. It's quite exciting. So it looks like I could be starting a bird watch series. Oh, she started, or he started calling. Can you hear him? Perhaps he's calling his mate, I don't know. But I get quite a good view from the back bedroom window, as long as I don't move to the window too quickly, because that will spook them. So I will get to film what I can and share it with you when I can. So fingers crossed we have some little collared dove babies. So this is my Ellison orange cordon apple, and I've just picked this. Look at that beauty. It's actually quite hot. It's a really hot day and the sun's been on that for hours, but I'm going to try it. Oh, I've just taken a bite and that is proper juicy. That tastes like the nicest apple juice. Beautiful. So this is my peas. I've got Meteor here and Kent Blue. They're completely exhausted now and dying back. They've got no flowers on them, so there'll be no more pods produced. I've got plenty of safe seed already for the Meteor, so I'm just going to lift them out now. With the Kent Blue, I'm going to leave them in situ to completely die off, and for the seeds that are on the remaining pods to mature. So I've not got a lot of time today because I've got work at 11 o'clock. So I've got about 3/4 of an hour and then I've got to get ready for work and go. So let's get this tidied up. So I've cleared all the support now, and I've just weeded this area. I can see underneath the courgette that there's still some more birdseed that's germinated, so I just need to get in there and clear that. But overall, I'm really happy with my pea harvest this year. I don't grow a huge amount. If you have an allotment, you can grow a great deal more than I can. I just don't have the space. But I grow enough so that I can come out of an evening, pick what I need for a meal, and then a few days later there'll be another lot. So there's never enough to freeze, but enough for me. It took 2 attempts at germination to get them going this year, but overall I'm really pleased with the harvest. So I'm just looking at these Kent Blue pea pods. Some of them have got some nice big seed in there, so as they dry off I'll be able to save that and send some to some friends to spread the love. So I'm going to carry on because I've got to go to work shortly, and I'll see you all probably another day. It's early morning and I've just picked all of these because I couldn't bear the thought of them just all going to waste. But I have upset the bird. She's flown off her nest, and it's been about 20 minutes now and she's not come back, so I feel so bad. So I'm going to keep out the garden for at least an hour or so, and in the meantime I'm going to have a cup of coffee and repent. Oh my goodness, she's come back. Oh, I'm so relieved. Right, I really am going to leave her alone. So there's a few things that I wanted to do today. One in particular is to sow some more carrots. I've got 2 empty potato buckets that I've got spent potato compost in, so I need to sieve that and add some blood, fish and bone, and then I want to add put carrots in one, and I haven't decided what I'm going to put in the second one. But because I disturbed the bird earlier this morning picking all these beans, I don't really want to go out there and be rattling about with a noisy wheelbarrow and the sieve and doing all that. I'm going to give her a break. Plus it's been raining, so I've got my coffee. I've got all these beans. I've got beans on the counter behind me as well. So I'm just going to sit here and happily prepare them all, blanch them, get them in the freezer, and then that gives her a complete break from any activity from me. And then I shall go out there, hopefully if it's stopped raining and it's dry, which it's supposed to be later, and do some of the jobs that I wanted to do. So let me get on with it. So what I like to do, I like to just take off the, I don't know if you can see from there, I just cut off the top end. That's the only bit that I cut off, where it's come from the plant, and then I just cut them up into sort of bite-sized pieces, so like that. With the runner beans, if I'm just preparing them directly for my dinner, I tend to slice them quite thinly, but if they're going in the freezer, I do them as big chunks because they hold their shape and flavour better if they're a bigger piece. I find if you freeze the really thinly sliced, they just end up very, very watery. So I'm going to get on with this. Let's see how we get on. So I've done all my purple queen and I've just started on the cobra. I do them exactly the same way, just bite-sized chunks. Now some of these, because I haven't been picking them because the bird's been sitting on the nest, many of these have got quite large, but they still taste nice, and actually the larger ones actually freeze better. Okay, so that's all the cobra and the purple queen done now. Some of the younger beans that I picked, I've put aside. I'll have them for my dinner tonight, so they won't be frozen. So I actually really enjoy sort of prepping my produce, either for cooking or for the freezer. And it's nice just to sit here. It's quite therapeutic, but on reflection I realise that all I seem to be doing lately is harvesting beans. I've got, I think, 7 varieties of beans growing, but this has been a really unusual year for me. Not just because of the weather and poor temperatures that we had for a good part of the year, but also early in spring I was on crutches. I could hardly move about. I had a really nasty problem with one of my knees. So I just didn't, I haven't grown the wide variety of crops that I would normally do. Normally I could count 15 to 20 different types of crops. But all I've had this year there was my overwintering broad beans, onions, garlic and leeks. They've been out for ages. I didn't sow any carrots until about 5-6 weeks ago. My strawberries, I've had a really good harvest of strawberries, and the peas have been pretty good as well. Potatoes, sweet corn's coming along nicely. I've had some cauliflowers as well, and in the greenhouse I've now sown some more salad crops. I've got more broccoli and cauliflowers to sort of pot on, and then they'll eventually go out in the garden. Also in the greenhouse I've got 4 different varieties of tomatoes. I've got several different chilies and sweet peppers and a cucumber. So there's quite a bit growing, but nowhere near as much as previous years. So it just seems that every video is about the beans, so I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, a very, very strange year, but I do like my beans, so it's just as well really. So I've got all my runner beans. I'm going to do those now, finish my coffee, and then I might sow some more carrots. Well, that's it, folks. I've had a good couple of days out in the garden. We've had a taste of summer. We've had some beautiful blue skies and hot temperatures. The garden's had a really good drink now. The peas were lifted yesterday. The beans that I picked this morning are all in the freezer. I've also picked the last of the tomatoes. I think there might be a few more coming, but not many. And I made some more pasta sauce this afternoon. Now, these tomatoes, they're not ones that I've ever grown before, so I don't know what their habit is like. Usually the ones that I normally grow are the typical British tomato, quite prolific, so you get gluts of them. These haven't produced a huge amount of fruit, but the fruit that they've produced have been pretty big, and the flavours have been unbelievable, so I have been pleased with them. What else have I done today? Oh, I've sown some carrots. I didn't want to film it and make a big fuss over it, so I sat very quietly and I amended the soil that was in the bucket, and then I've sown some seeds, so hopefully we'll have some more carrots. Well, I've got carrots coming already, but that'll be another bucket load. So I think that's it for now. The courgettes put on a huge amount of growth over the last week or so. The corn, all the tassels are going brown, so they're going to be ready soon. All my containers of flowers are looking really good. So I'm pleased with the garden at the moment. So have a great week, everybody. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications. If you hit the thumbs up, that also helps, and if you leave me a comment, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So have a great week, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. I'm Annie, and this is my kitchen garden.